Check it. It's time to empower the women and educate the men. This is the calling that God has begun with two individuals he destined to win. So sit back, relax, maybe grab a snack as we speak some facts guaranteed to impact your life. Your destiny is God-given right. So listen up as we speak some truth to you, guaranteed to make sure you live your life to the fullness. Make sure you are winning, never quitting on yourself. Live your life to the fullness. Make sure you are winning, never quitting on yourself.
Yo, we live in a world that's always go, go, go. So it's nice to kind of slow down and appreciate the alignment coach and the authentic coach who just so happen to be out here empowering women and the educated men. So whatever you do, whatever you start, you gotta set the intention. So I hope you intend on taking notes, because showtime is right now.
Right now, here it is. We back. Listen. I'm so excited to be back. Welcome. We're going to talk about, we starting our 60-day journey, setting your intentions.
Yes, we are. Hey, everybody, I'm C. Morgan, the chiropractor.
I'm King Harrison, the authentic coach. Let's go to the Father. Father God, we thank you right now that you have graced us, empowered us to do what we're doing. We yield everything to you right now, our intellect, mind, subconscious, will, our voices to you, Father, that so you can get the glory out of this show as we start this series on mindfulness and being aware. And we start with setting your intentions. Father, give us the words for these people so that their lives can be changed, their lives can be impacted, and the trajectory of their life will go further than they ever thought before. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Let's get it started. We told you last week we was going to get here because we really are sincerely going on a mission to change people for real and have some results. And these are going to be tangible. We love the intangibles, but these are going to be tangibles because we're going to get you to write things down and follow through and kind of keep track of yourself. So let's get this show started. Let's get it started. We're going to talk about setting intentions and talk to the people about setting their intentions.
Yes, like knowing, I guess, what an intention is. So basically, the intention, which you start off, is a decision to show up for life in a particular manner. How do you want to show up today? And it comes about who you want to be rather than who you want to get where you want to be, if that makes any sense. It doesn't have to have a specific outcome, or a tangible result, but just you having the intention to make it. And some things, examples, some like today I'll have a positive attitude. I choose to be courageous in my communication today, or you're going to change the way you communicate. You're going to give yourself grace for that. It could be something small, or, in business or at work. It could be during this meeting today, I'll share my thoughts freely, especially if you don't talk up or anything like that. So in that aspect of it, it will have something to do that. So just be patient. Say, I want to have patience. I want to embrace change, or I want to smile. Some of those things, just some small things that you need to actually do every day will actually help you. And that starts the intention. It doesn't have to, like we said, be big or small. It doesn't have to be a long phrase either. Something that you can take every day and say will actually help you communicate and actually begin the whole intention thing, because we're changing our mindset, depending what it is right now. Because intentions are short goals. What they usually are, they're not long. But hey, if you have long goals, go ahead and put them out there for you to begin working on them. But the intentions are made to be something short and daily. Is what it usually is. And it's not formal. And that's the difference between goal setting and setting some of your intentions. What it is. It will begin you starting the process of how you would change yourself. And there's short time frames. It could be a week, or just like we said, today. So experts recommend that you set intentions each day as you go on to start creating that mind frame that we talk about. what is present in our lives. Because a lot of times we're not present. We think about the past, we think about what's going on in the future. You know, as I was saying, we're on the go all the time. So just to slow down and be in the present and take things together. And what I mean together is for yourself. You,
Yeah.
yourself, and I have that together, merged into one for you for that day.
Yeah. That's great. That's great. What's up, Richard? What's up? Country boy, what's up? What's up? I'm glad that y'all tuned in. Listen, I like what you said about the intentions for that day or for that thing. But we want you to really, for this, just this particular time, we want you to really focus on 60 days. We want to do this for 60 days. So we want you to set intentions for the next 60 days. You can start, if you want to start out day by day, and then at night, you write down like what C's saying, I have the intentions of having to be in a good mood. I have the intentions to accomplish this, or I have the intentions to smile. I have the intentions to let that go. Somebody say something slick to me. The intentions, you set them, and then
Right.
right. It just that's what you have to do, and it's not, again, it's the self-awareness and the mindfulness that we want to make you use today. We want you to be, the next 60 days, we want you to be aware and mindful of every one of your actions, your intentions, and we kind of want to realign them, because you never know. You may have planned, you may not realize you have planned to fail, but you don't even realize it. Subconsciously you plan to fail.
Right.
But now we want you to be intentional on not failing, intentional on accomplishing the things that you want to do. And like I said, like she said, it don't have to be some great major gesture. It could be simple. I intend to smile the whole day. No matter what goes on,
Yep.
no matter what happens, I'm going to smile the whole day. It could be as small as that, or as great as I intend to buy a Rolls Royce by the end of the year. Whatever. That's whatever. We just want you to put your mind there. And we want to show you how, when you make yourself aware and you're mindful, how easy it is to obtain the thing that you have actually set your attentions on, because you put focus on it.
And you saying that, actually making a smile, like you said, something simple as smiling for their day. As you start your day and you move through your morning routine, you think about what you have planned for the day and what you want to accomplish. So as you're thinking about, this is your intention for the day, you're going to reflect on what character traits or ways that you would need to do for yourself to bring that to the table to have a successful day with that intention.
Right.
And that, like we said, that's at the start of your day with that intention in your morning. And the mornings are crucial because you're setting the tone for the day. No, and like King said, no matter what happens, something can tick you off, something can hurt you, or the day is not going the way you planned. Breathe for that moment. Okay, what was my intention for today? Make yourself a Post-it. I love Post-its. I'll stick them on my screen, on the mirrors. Good. Yeah, I know. I put them on in different places, but put it somewhere, or have something that is going to remind you of the intention that you want to start your day and you want to keep to.
Yeah. There go my wife. Hello, my wife. Erica's came in. Listen, you know what? I'm so trapped. It don't make no sense. So the gangster way of saying this, listen, man. Y'all just gotta be really about it, bro. I mean, it's bottom line. You can't keep, quit doing this stuff to yourself. Quit, put your money where your mouth is, stuff like that. But you just gotta really be about it, man. You just gotta, quit all this pump faking. Like, you say you're gonna do something, you don't do it. Let's stop doing that now. Let's really write it down. Write it down. I promise you. I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna share something that's very true for me. And she knows this because I can't stand writing everything down. That's the analytical. She's analytical and I'm not. But however, I have seen the benefit of writing things down. Yes. And the benefit of it is amazing, because your mind can actually make you think something is greater than it really is. And then when you write it down, you'll see how minute it is. And you actually have put it in perspective. And writing stuff down, you put it in perspective and you're able to see, hey, okay, I can accomplish this. This is not as hard as I thought. Okay, if I do this and I do that, and there you go, you're doing it. You have to set your intentions, man, because in order to really be successful, you got to have a plan.
But intentions with a positive attitude. That's the other thing with it. As we said, as your day, your mood can shift, your attitude can shift. You have to stay positive. And yes, sometimes it's easier said than done, or a lot of times it might be easier said than done.
Sometimes? Most of the time, easier said than done.
Well, you have a choice. You have a choice. What's your post-it say that you're making for that intention for the day?
Well, I got to put my post on the windshield then, because the way they drive here, boy.
You know what? Put on a steering wheel. I mean, you all the
ready
time.
To snap.
Yeah, people with road rage, yes, they do.
I don't think I have road rage. I think I have road intentions. And so, so like
trying to make it sound pretty.
Yeah, it's road intentions. I intend to not say what I'm ready to say, but I end up saying I got to work on it. But it's like I be so close to holding on that horn, boy. I gotta repent. I done called so many people idiots. It don't make no sense. It come out quick. You ain't nothing but an idiot. What was you thinking? I'm like,
so your intention for the day would be watch what you say.
Yeah, right. I gotta watch what I say. And you know what? The sad part is they can't even hear me. That's the sad part. They don't even hear me. That's the sad part. They can't even hear me. So it's amazing. But no, seriously. Mindfulness and self-awareness is something that we really lack. And where it hurt us most, it hurt us sometimes in relationships, whether it be, romantic, business-wise, church, whatever. If you're not aware of who you are and mindful of that, you will accept things that come in your life that is really not for you. I seen like a TikTok where TDJ's putting on the jacket is way too small for him. But the point, he was making a point that, we sometimes love things that don't fit. And yes. I'm like, wow, that's a great point. However, the thing about it is I know we was talking and this came up and it's actually going to work here. Sometimes we don't realize that people in our lives have a selfish mindset and how they project themselves and how they communicate and how they do relationship is from a selfish motive. And so in turn, if you just so happen to be that, Pastor Clay, you early. Hallelujah. Boy, that's what I'm talking about, Pastor Clay. Welcome, Pastor Shelton Clay, my brother.
He said his intention. He was talking
He
about
said his intentions. He was on time. He ain't got no clients. That's what it is. But I'm glad you're here. But no, back to what I'm saying. So when you're in a relationship, whether it's romantic, business-wise, and that person is selfish, you're going to get the backdrop of that is they're going to make you feel insufficient about you. And if you don't have self-awareness and mindfulness of who you are, you'll start believing what they're saying from a selfish perspective. How does that look? Okay, I'll show you. So if I'm selfish, everything I do is going to be about me. And if you don't agree with it, that means you got a problem. Now, I could be wrong as I'll get out, but I'm right. And even though you can't perform what I need you to perform, you're incapable of performing it. It's something wrong with you because you can't do it. Because that's something I need to be done. Make it more plain. So if I say to you, hey, I need you to make sure you fly to Atlanta and then come back to Georgia. Then come back to San Francisco and then you come back here to Maryland and then make sure you pick me up at this time. If you can't do that because for some reason, health reason, let's say you can't do it because you can't. And I say you are worthless, you are sorry, you're lazy, blah, 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 blah. If you do not have self-awareness and mindfulness, you're going to believe my selfish comments. Mm-hmm. So you have to be aware of who you are, self-aware. So when you meet somebody that's selfish in their mindset and how they present themselves, and they say something to you, now a self-aware, let's make an example. Somebody said it to me, you lazy and because I'm so self-aware of myself, I would say back, you a fool. If you think I'm going to do all that and risk my body and my health, that ain't got nothing to do with laziness. You the one, you got, I'm just, listen, this time I'm going to be kind of edgy today. I'm be kind of edgy today because I'm just going to be I'm just giving you 4-1. I'm be a little edgy in my comments because some things I'm not really I'm not really accepting today because I see people take advantage of people that are not self-aware of themselves or mindful of themselves or value themselves. And that's kind of like it's kind of like a thing I don't like. So we want to make intentions. Our intentions is to make sure you have self-awareness and mindfulness of who you are. And again, we'll keep offering this, which I don't know why we keep offering it. We'll keep offering our disassessments for you if you want to take them. We'll keep offering because that's like the best thing that's starting with the self-awareness, don't you think?
Yeah, it is, because it actually gives you a panoramic view in a lot of different areas of your strengths and your improvement areas, how you work, how you are with yourself. It gives you a good bird's eye view also to help you narrow down and focus on some bullet points. Actually, it starts your way on self-awareness. It gives you an orientation of some things that you may want to know, some things you may have had suspicion about, some things you may have known, and maybe some things you have not accepted. But it will give you a starting point, which we all need to continue to do when dealing with the different things you have. It would tell you, some things, for instance, in how you communicate, how you understand, what language is being said here, how we think is, we're talking clear as day, black and white to you right now, but the person on the other side of the conversations, like, they still don't understand. It's not that they're not capable of. We are talking two different languages, but it has to come with comprehension and communication. Then you have the understanding. But the biggest thing is to be not trying to see a right and wrong. It's to understand where you're at right now.
Your strength.
You may not always, you can agree to disagree in some of those. So it helps with actually conflict and communication and understanding, because a lot of time we think we're communicating, but we're not.
We're not.
We're not communicating whatsoever. You're trying to drive your point, but you're focused more on being correct or right, but not accepting where you're incorrect at. And that's one of those points that it shows with who you're dealing with, what type of person, in a sense of what we're saying, your behavior style, your working style. Because you're going to clash sometimes, because there's different levels of it. There's different maturity of where you are in your level and where you're growing. So it's a good beneficial tool to have in your tool belt to look for self-growth and to improve in all areas of family, relationships, period. Work, it benefits all realms of your life, honestly.
And then think about it is, I think the book is called "I'm Surrounded by Idiots." Is in it basically?
Yeah, that's one of them.
Yeah.
I have that book.
Right. So, and see, in essence,
I'm surrounded by psychopaths. That's another one.
Right. So, in essence, this is what the book is pretty much breaking down what we're talking about, the assessment, the disassessment. And so, what happens is this: you'll learn how you are to be communicated to, and then B, how you communicate to others. You'll learn this. And when you take the assessment, you'll learn it. It's like I said, it's a priceless tool, and we giving it away. And you will learn how to really interact with yourself. You'll learn it's gonna blow your mind and because we used to say this was our little sale pitch. If it's wrong, just let us know. We know it ain't gonna be wrong. We know it's gonna be accurate. We do. We know it. We just do that as a sales pitch. But we're gonna tell you, we're gonna skip all the little fluff stuff and get straight to it. It's gonna be very accurate to you if you do it the right way. And you gotta be in a quiet space, and you gotta take it. And all it's doing is telling you to put in order certain words from closest to you to not you. And it's so simple. It ain't even, you don't even have to think hard, really. It's gonna be real easy to take. So we encourage you to reach out to us, put in the chat, hey, I want one. And we still got to send KG one now that I think about it. I remember you did. Put in the chat, we want one, and we'll put your email in the chat, because we don't have your email, we can't send it to you. So, and that's something that we want to help you be self-aware and mindful. And what I would want you to do, if you take us up on this, I would really want you to study that for the next 60 days. I really would want you to study, because it's 29 pages.
A piece of it.
Not the whole thing. Yeah, it's 29 pages.
Of it, not the whole thing. You're overwhelmed with the information. So
it's 60 days though. See, they can 29 pages, 1 page a day. 2 pages
Well,
is
reading
good.
it, yes, you're right.
Yeah,
They can.
read it. Yeah, read it. Yeah, they
Yes.
need to read it. Cause I want you to read it because it's gonna talk about you, and I want you to read every page, and I want you to understand it. And like I said, you can reach out to us because we're gonna make ourselves available to you for real to actually help you interpret what it's saying and help give you a better meaning. This is the part I wanted you to. That I wanted to say when I was talking about surrounded by idiots. What you need to understand is. Okay, I knew you was gonna do that too. What you need to understand is this: what for so long we've been told in the society is you're weak, your weaknesses. We always focus on weaknesses. This is a
Mhm.
tool that's gonna show you your strengths. Just because you can't bake a cake don't mean you're weak. And that's how society based everything up. If you can't do something, then that means you're weak in that area. No, that's
Mhm.
just not your strength. That's all that is. You're strong in this area. And that's what we want to focus on, what you're strong in. Not what you have less capabilities of doing. And we eliminate the word weak. What we changed the word weak for? I forgot. We had a different
I
word
would
for weak.
improvement areas.
Right. Your improvement areas. So just because your improvement areas is this doesn't mean that you can't do this. We want to
Or
show
blind
you
spots is the other
blind.
thing
That's
we
what it
use.
was. Blind spot.
Blind
Just because your blind spot. That's a blind spot for you. You don't necessarily have to. You don't have to focus in your blind spots. Focus on your strengths. And a lot of times that's what happens. We try to we try to operate in our blind spots, and we negate our strengths. And so we want to help you stay in your strengths. That test, that assessment, that there will help you do that. And I encourage you. I'm so serious. We actually giving this away. This is cost. It costs. I mean, I'm not trying to be funny now because we make it seem light because we're talking about it, but it's a tool that we actually do charge people for. But we giving it away because we are serious about you having self-awareness and mindfulness. Because I do not want anybody else to be taken advantage of because they don't know who they are and they don't know their value. And they are so focused and they allow people to keep them in a blind spot where you can't see your strengths. That's why we used to call it blind spot. Right. Okay. That's why. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that's what we key on that. We got to write that. You wrote that.
like driving.
You write his email down. See, you write it right.
Yeah, I did. I
Okay.
got
All
it
right.
down. Yep. I wrote it down. And that's the key thing, blind spot. It's like when you're driving. You know the area of your car, you know the size, the width, but sometimes that something gets, obscures your view. Like when we're driving, there are blind spots.
Right.
And those are things, okay, we didn't know about, or we have some knowledge, okay, we know it's there, but how well do we know it's there? What can we do about it to make it better? So our attention to make it an intention to focus on it. And you made a good thing too, what we're taught, as you're saying, in school, to focus on things like we're weak, where we can't be able to do, quote unquote. But
Right.
we're not taught to say, hey, how about you get this other person right here? What parts we talk about making a team? When we're
Mm,
looking to be self-aware, what you may need, okay, find someone else who does great at it. There is nothing wrong with that.
nothing.
You're using your time wisely, you're still being very productive, and you're like, okay, I need help. That's what that part we are not really taught in school. And when it comes to a lot of times with tests, when it comes, like you said, it's what are you good at, what you're not. If you're good at, let's expound on what you're good at. Because this is what that's gonna come easy. You're gonna be passionate about, you're gonna be happy going to work daily every day, which you're not, those are things that's not looked at it in those manners. So
Mm,
you introduce yourself to something you like. Let's focus on that. Now it says, what do you want to be when you grow up, or what career do you want to focus in? And you do have an array of variety of decisions and options that they give you, but it's never the part that, from I'll speak from my experience, it wasn't always, well, you know what, you can have this person help you do this, you can have this person help you do that, but let's see what part we want to break down, that you're truly want to, what do you want to do every day to get up, that you can be happy in doing, what is going to actually bring you pleasure and helping in somebody's life, that you're not going to mind doing for years. I mean, I've heard plenty of stories. For instance, people working at, Ford plants, Toyota plants. They're not always happy. Some may be, but from my experience, a lot of them, they're happy with the pay, but the breakdown on the health and what's going on, they don't love getting up doing that every day. They love to make the money they're getting, but they're not happy all the time because they work so many hours a day, then they don't have the time to actually enjoy it a lot of times. But then you're surrounded by a schedule. You're on somebody else's times. So that's what comes with some of those, the intentions, that you remind yourself, what quality of life do you want to have? But
Mm-hmm.
even when you're unhappy, we're saying setting that daily intention. I'm gonna go to work happy. I'm gonna have a positive attitude. Find something in life to focus on,
Right.
especially when you feel some things you're saying, especially dealing with the assessment. It shows you, hey, maybe I need to try this. I see, but why do I not like this, but I do so well at it? What is the root, maybe? Or
Mm.
is it, as we talked about before, is it fear, or were we told we weren't good at it, so we just shied away from it? We actually were good at it. So, and a lot sharing your intention, sharing the assessment, talking with people around you in your circle, it's going to actually help you cultivate more
Mm.
awareness, what you're going to have to do. So you're going to see that it helps you keep you accountable for what you said you want to do. Just by writing down is going to keep you accountable, the attention that you want, and talking through it. So those are some things when it comes to like what we're taught, and that's what we're saying. It's a mindset reset, but it's the more the self awareness that we're talking about,
Yeah.
and it's daily. Did something happen? Something happened yesterday that you want to you want to work on? It could be for a week. It doesn't have to be daily. Just know for that week, what do you want to work on? And while you're doing it, and when you're tested, one thing that I will say, when you're tested and your attitude, let's say your attitude you want to work on, or patience you want to work on, you have to try to stay calm at times. You're going to have to try it over and over again. You're going to get better as you're doing it. Then as you're getting better, you're going to become, some more things going to be thrown at you again, because you
Mm.
surpassed that first initial level. So now it's going to go to, okay, you want patience? Let me give you something else that's going to require even more patience. So now you're going to grow even more in patience in yourself, growth wise. So, and be a good listener and work together too. So if you have someone that you're having as being an accountability partner, or someone to help you with their intention that you're doing, have grace. You told them to remind you if you're not doing it. Don't get upset about it. They're being what you asked them to be. Hold you accountable for what you're doing. And of course, let you know, hey, you're slipping a little bit. You're not doing what you said your paper you're going to do today. It's okay to be in that moment, but it's also to work through it and not avoid, especially when it comes to emotions at time. You have to
Yeah.
hear each other. You have to hear each other.
Yeah, and that's something we're gonna deal with. I know next week we're gonna deal with that. But what I like what you said. Let's not do for you to who's are. This is your beginning time to ever doing this. Let's take one
Mhm.
thing, and for this whole week, focus on that one thing, that one intention. And let's go back. You know what? You know why we don't get help like that no more? Because since life is a test, we was taught when we get help, we was cheating. So if I got somebody to help me with this answer, I'm cheating. If I got somebody to
Yeah.
do the answer, I'm cheating. So subconsciously, believe it or not, you're still stuck in a school set mind where if you
Mhm.
get help, you're cheating. I'm here to tell you, cheat. You're not cheating. You're actually benefiting yourself. Like my strength is when I take it. My strength is I make decisions. I'm boom, 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 boom. I'm that guy. But I need someone like C, which is analytical, that look at, okay, hold on, we shouldn't go, blah, 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 blah. Hold on, wait a minute. Let's look at this, make sure we good. And then we need people, which is in the middle. We need somebody that likes to talk, that can really talk to the people and get them hype and get them encouraged and all that stuff. An
Influencer. Yeah.
influencer. I know y'all think that's me, but it's not. So, but then we also need to support people who just want to be supportive, people who just want to be supportive and who want to just make sure that they are always, back the background of what you're trying to do. And so when we talk about the strengths and stuff, it ain't that you don't have your your blind spots. It ain't that you something wrong with you. It's just that you need a team. Like right now, anything you're trying to accomplish as an adult, you need a team. You can't be the only one to be successful. You're gonna need people to be successful. And the DISC assessment will show you what part you play. And then if you got people, that you need,
Wow.
if you got people that you need, she took a break. If you got people that you need, you want to know, and you want to know where they fit in, then you need to have them take the DISC assessment as well. And that's how you build a team around that. I promise you, that's the best thing I ever learned, is the fact that DISC assessment showed me what part I played and what team members I needed to go get. I'm good. If I'm not that role, I'm good. I'm confident in that. I'm good. I'm great. Cause that's all right. Let somebody else do it. As long as I'm being my authentic self and I'm allowing them people where my blind spots are and their strength is in that area, then we're gonna be successful. We're gonna be very successful. And so that's what you gotta understand. Quit allowing the school mindset to hinder you from moving forward. You're not cheating if you get help. You're not cheating if someone tells you the answer to something you're trying to do. You're not cheating. So get that out your head. This is in your subconscious. That's how it is. You feel like, okay, if I get the answer, then I'm cheating. No, you're not. That's wisdom. If you don't know something, you go get help. That's wisdom. If you don't know the answer, that's wisdom. And that's what you need to meet. So your intentions have to be, yeah, I got to get away from self-awareness because we're going to deal with that next week. So your intentions have to be that. Yeah. Your intentions have to be, you got to make up in your mind, this is what you're going to do and stick to it. Don't, I can't wait for next week. Don't get sidetracked. I see stuff.
True. Now, the best way when someone say, what's the best way when to set an intention? It has to be the best time they say is, after meditation or maybe after prayer or a time you've spent quiet with yourself to clear your mind. Mm-hmm. The best time, not so much while you're in the emotion, if you're angry at the time, it's basically when you're clear-headed, because it's going to help you actually really look at where you are to the fact. Like they said, what do you really want to accomplish? Are you trying to accomplish because of what someone made you feel, what someone said? If that's the case, that's not genuine to who you feel you are and what you need to do, unless it has some truth to it. But for the most part, that you're doing that's not for you. You're thinking about what someone else is saying, how they're contributing to the intention that you're trying to make for the day. And that's something else that, we're probably going to talk about even more as we talk about now, is listening to what others say and how it changes. You have to think of where this intention is coming from. Why? And that comes from, why do you want to focus on this intention? What is the purpose for it?
Yeah.
That is a good thing to look at. Then what is it? What do you want to get? As I'm doing this, maybe for the week, what progress do I want to see change? Or what have you seen changed? Think about how is it made, and to write down for that week. Were there any setbacks? What you're going to have, but the setback is, okay, if you had a setback and you did, I forgot to do it today, or I forgot to maybe have the posted in my face or on my computer. Okay, it doesn't mean anything. You have the rest of the week, but still make the commitment to stay committed of making the intention, but actually go the next day. If you did in the morning, okay, you forgot to do in the morning, do in the afternoon. You still have time into the day to make the intention and make it stick, what you have. Right. And moving forward through the rest of your week. But what did you like I said, what was your setback? Okay, did something hinder from you staying committed? Was it you weren't prepared? Did you wake up late? Did something happen that you didn't plan for? That's okay. But so you pivot. Doesn't have to start the next day. I want you guys to do it that same day, not start the next day fresh. Start the next moment or the next minute fresh. Because like we said, we're trying to change your mind frame and your thinking, the positive thinking that you want to do. So continuously and conditioning yourself to do this, I'm just going to wait till the next day, I already messed up. No, like I said, you start that in that moment or that next minute or later in that day to actually to start again. Because remember, as we always said, time is the only thing that you cannot get back.
You cannot.
So I would say don't waste that when making that attention. What did you learn from that attention for that week? Is there something that did you have an aha moment, from that week with the attention? Or do you want to do that attention for the next week too? Because now you're getting the hang of it, or you see some of the hiccups in what you're doing. So you want to continue it again. Maybe you want to make it for the whole 30 days, look at those things and evaluate. You can evaluate daily or throughout the week. What happened? And that comes with, like we said, writing it down or even keeping a journal, a daily journal. This week, this is my intention. This is what happened today. And that's a good thing to do too also, is actually write stuff down the night before, like we're talking. And then you write what you want to do for the next day. Then you read it again that next morning. So it's goals daily. Your intention day, it can be the same intention daily. Write it again. For me, because you use different senses, you ingrain it in your brain more. You say it, you write it, you do it. Use all the senses possible to actually begin that process. of transforming what you want to change or what you want to improve that is for the best for you,
Mhm.
especially if it becomes toxic or anything that you're doing that you want to change.
Right. That's good. And I like that. And you know what? Back in the day, you used to hear the older folks when you wanted to date, what are your intentions with my daughter? They hear dad
Yeah,
say that.
that's true. You hear it in some of the
What are
movies
your
now too.
intentions with my daughter? So I want y'all to ask yourself first yourself that, and then the people who are around you. Start finding out what are the other people's intentions about you. Because we want y'all, like I said, we're gonna deal with this next week. We want you to be aware. But what are the people that are in your life right now? What are their intentions for you? You can start eliminating some people just from that. Because I promise you, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. It's people in your circle right now that don't even supposed to be there. They actually hinder you from growth. And I just want to make a public service announcement that you need to get rid of them. You really do. Because for where you need to go, they can't keep rocking with you. And tell you, I'm going to be honest with you, whenever I hear this, I'm going to say it. So whoever watching, you got a circle and you need to do some house cleaning. Because people's intentions for you are not lined up to where you're going. And you need to start asking yourself them questions. That's I used to get mad at that question when they would ask me. Because I had no good intentions for their daughter, none at all. So, but now I understand that this is a powerful thing you should ask. You should ask people, what are your intentions for being in part of my life? Are you here? Are you a leech, just seeing what you can get from me, or are you here to improve and enhance me? I'm serious. Y'all should ask that question. That just came to. Trust me. It's some reason. It's somebody watching this that need to go ask that question. Look at your circle. My circle tight though. Look at your circle and ask the people. Yeah, because I get rid of people. Like I have the gift of goodbye. I can tell somebody goodbye and it would not bat an eye. Just like bye, peace out. Thank you for joining, but you gotta go. You have been dismissed. So that's easy for me. But it's not easy for everybody. It's some people can't do it. They don't want. They feel like, oh, I'm gonna hurt their feelings. They mean well and hurting feelings. I promise you're gonna hinder yourself. You better let them people go. Cut them out your life. I always heard cut the snake head off.
Yeah, I've heard that
Always
too.
heard that. Cut the snake head off because you don't want. If you cut the
Or
snake
cut it at
tail.
its root. That's the other thing. Cut it at its root.
Let me tell you something. If you cut a snake's tail, its tail will grow back. But if you cut their head off, done deal. So I'm telling you, because I sense this and you watching this, and I'm gonna say this to you. You need to start asking people what are their intentions that are close to you, for you, because in your circle, you have people that are leeches. In your circle, you have people that mean you no harm. They're spies. They're trying to get information. They run back and tell someone so they can hurt you. And so in your circle, you also have different people that just they wait. They weighted you down. They cause weight, and it's not. You don't want that either. So you need to you need to start cleaning out your circle because the people who are in your circle does not have the best intentions for you. And the reason why you're not where you want to be is because of your circle and because who you allow privilege to speak into your life. You got to be careful who you allow to speak into your life, especially when you don't know what their intentions are. If you don't know what their intentions are, why would you let them speak into your life? Because that's foolishness. Do not do that. Especially somebody, like we say this all the time. Small-minded people should never speak into your life because they're not going nowhere. They're
And that's
chickens.
another thing. Open-mindedness is another key factor when it comes to intentions.
Deal with that. Yes, sir. Deal with open-mindedness, see, because I feel like I'm going to the other way. I don't want to preach yet.
It's like you said, open mind when you made a good point talking about, your idea, small-minded people. When they see they can move you in a certain way or pull you or prevent you from the success, especially if you're headstrong and driven and your passion is pushing you towards something, but they're standing in your way. Now there's a difference between asking you questions, not if someone says, "Are you sure you want to do this?" It's not that. It depends how it's being asked, and again, what their intention is for your life.
Right.
They're asking you maybe to make sure, look like you looked over everything, you've done the best you can to make the decision moving forward. Are you sure you want to do this?
Right.
And you say yes, and we all know that we're gonna climb some mountains at times. We're going to have some caves we're going to have to climb in before we get to the top. We're going to have some challenges as we're moving through it.
Right.
But it's something we still would like to pursue. So in moving forward, you have to say, yes, I want to do this. That person who's asking you, are you sure you want to do it? Okay. Their response should say, okay, I'm going to be there and work with you through it. I'm going to be there when you're having your challenges. I'm going to help where you allow me to help, not take over and bombard or control. I'm going to work with you. And there's a difference. Now they're going to give you, they may give you some stuff, some information, some advice you may not like, but if it's
Right.
truth and it's actually makes sense,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to be open-minded to listen what they're saying, because they may have expertise in other fields,
Correct.
expertise in what they've done in their own personal experience that may be valid to what they've said to you. But take that into account. Have that open mind, not to shut everything out. Shut out the negativity, yes. And sometimes people use the negativity as motivation at times, but that you're still allowing that negativity to seep inside you, because
Right.
now you're not pursuing your passion. You're pursuing to prove somebody wrong.
You got
You should
business.
not sit to prove somebody wrong in a sense where
Never.
you lose your why. You lose your passion. That's the difference in you turning that negativity into motivation.
Right.
When you give a piece of you away because you're trying to satisfy somebody else. You're trying to prove to somebody else or what you can be. The first person that you should be proving that to is yourself.
Correct.
Your actions are going to speak louder than words at times. Your words and who you communicate with, they're going to take you far. They're going to be on that stream to guide you to where you need to be through the different channels in your life. You're pushing yourself. It's great to have that interconnected, strong community riding with you as you're going through it. But the ones that are pushing you the wrong way, because when I say the negativity is pushing you, when it's causing you to self-doubt yourself, when it's causing you to really start thinking, having pain of what they said, or it's starting to hurt your feelings, now, if there's truth in it, you have to accept it. Only if it's the truth. And that fact, and we all have different realities of things too, but if it really is starting to affect, maybe you're overwhelmed at times or overworked, and it's affecting maybe the morale of the company or the morale of the people around you. You don't want to hear that, but maybe you are overwhelmed. Maybe you are not producing like you should, or maybe you're not even happier and smiling like you used to. You may not want to hear that, but it's true what's going on, especially when more than one person says that in your inner circle and you can speak in a truthful manner and you have that great circle that it's okay to be not judged and you can be yourself. Take their words as valid. They want the best for you. They have the best intentions for you. You do something well, they're cheering you on. Keep going. You know, if something doesn't work out the way you want to work, it's okay. What are we going to do next? What's the next step? They keep pushing you in that way. That should be the correct motivation, not the negativity when it's starting to hurt you. And then you're waiting. This is the other part that we do. They're waiting to see you actually fail, quote unquote, as we say. They want to see you tear yourself down.
Yeah.
Those are things where you do not let that negativity in and use it as quote unquote motivation. That's not motivation. That's demise for yourself. Is what that is. That's counteractive in what you're doing.
Yes.
If you're making your points, long as that can push you to where you want to be and the goals you want to be, and you're happy still doing it, because some people do stuff that doesn't even make them happy just to prove someone's wrong. And then again, you're focused on proving someone else is wrong. You're focused on what someone else is thinking, someone is saying, and what they're saying over your life that you're trying to say is true or not true. You're using someone else's voice to empower you. Where did your voice go? Where did you lose that voice of yourself? Your voice should always overpower in the sense of what you can do and how you look in the inner self to move you.
That's good. See, that's real good. That's real good. You said so many things, man, that I was just sitting here like, yeah, let's deal with that. Yeah, let's deal with that. But no, I wanna go backwards, because that voice part, your voice should be the loudest voice. I actually, and then for those who rock with God like I do, God's voice should be the loudest voice in your head, because you that's who really is responsible for the direction. And then like what'll happen is you hear God's voice, the person who that's the quickest way. The person who speaks to you, if it's lined up with God said, then you know it's it. I tell this is set intentions, so it may seem like I'm supposed to go off the path. But when we talk to leaders, what leaders need to understand is this. You have a higher accountability and you have a higher responsibility. So what that looks like. So as a leader, pettiness, you can't be petty.
Right.
Now, if someone that you're leading is petty, you can't retaliate with petty. You gotta let
Right.
that
You
kind of
feel like
you kind of gotta rise. And the thing about it, the best way to put it is, if you're training anyone, you gotta understand as a leader, if you're the trainer, as a leader, they're gonna mess up. You just gotta expect it, and it may not. Just because they mess up in a way that you wouldn't have messed up, doesn't mean it's not a mess up. It doesn't mean you have to react. You have to really rise above. You always have to be in a position of you're gonna make sure whoever you're leading, if they come to you and they mess up, they talk sideways, you gonna have to be the stronger and mature person because you decided to be a leader. That's why I say we tell leaders count the cost. That's what C is saying when somebody come to you and they talking about something. Hey, I want to lead this group on it. Okay, now are you sure you can handle if they disrespectful? Are you sure you can handle if they don't show up? Are you sure you can handle if they, they just have a bad day and they go off on you? Are you sure? That's not doubting you. That's not questioning you. That's making sure you count the cost of being what you saying you're going to be, because being a leader is not easy. It's not in any facet. Especially in the church, it's definitely not easy. But it's not easy, period, though, because it's so many facets to being a leader that a lot of people miss. First of all, you have to have patience, as she was saying earlier. You have to have that. You have to have patience. You have to have compassion. First, you gotta be able to put yourself in a person's, whenever they come to you, you gotta be able to put yourself in their place, and you gotta be quick to say you're wrong. It's just so many facets to being a leader that a lot of people just overlook. And then when we say, you sure you want to be a leader? And they be looking at me like, what you mean? You can't tell me. It ain't that we trying to tell you. We just know that it's a higher responsibility. And you saying, I didn't know, ain't going to cut it as a leader. I'm not supposed to hear you say, you leading. So I'm not supposed to hear you tell me I didn't know. We asked you before we put you in this position. Could you do this? And then you say to me you didn't know. That's not acceptable. And then now we lose business because you couldn't handle it as a leader. And so you get mad at us if we go off. It ain't that we going off. It's because we asked you and you said you can handle it. So it ain't their fault. It's your fault. So that's what she's saying when, we don't knock people, but we just want you to be able to understand intentions are so serious right here. I'm so serious about it being intense, because it's not, we don't want you to be successful. We really want you to count the cost of what you're saying you're going to do and be intentional about what you're doing. Yeah, high responsibility. Yeah, good. It's a high responsibility.
It is.
And so, and G, put your email in the chat for us, please. And so the thing about it is, we really are so serious about your intentions. And I have to keep going back to this. And she alerted to it too. People that's in your circle, Siri always talking when I want to talk. People that's in your circle, you really have to do a check. I encourage y'all, along with intentions, it lines up. I need y'all to, whoever's in your circle right now, whoever you have speaking, I need you to ask them this week, what are your intentions? Why are you in my life? And if you find out that they are not going in the direction that you're supposed to be going in, you need to cut them off. Say goodbye. Thank you. This has been a great journey. I appreciate how long you've been rocking with me. God bless you. Godspeed. It's not that you don't like them. And it's not that you don't care for them. It's just they are not going in the direction you're going. And if they're not going in the direction you're going, you have to look at yourself and question. So why are you really not where you're supposed to be? Once you find out a thing, it's your responsibility to take care of it. A lot of you all are not where you want to be is because of the people in your circle or who you allow speak in your life. If you got chickens speaking in your life, then you're going to never fly. Never. But if you have eagles speaking in your life, not only are you going to fly, but you're going to get higher when opposition comes. It's a difference. And you need to check your life. Check your people around you. That's your intention. That's one of the things. She got more. I encourage you to really intentionally check your circle this week. And if they're not conducive to where you're going in your life, tell them bye. It ain't that you're mean. It ain't that, man, y'all got to realize it's so many people waiting on y'all to get this that it don't make no sense. And that's why we so strong. And so Tia give you all the other 18, the ones she got. I think.
Well, since you're speaking, about relationships and things and that, and some good intentions and things when you're in a relationship. When he's speaking of, and reading different things, by Dr. Jessica Higgins, some good things is, the union, it can only be healthy when two people are working at it. It takes considerable effort. It's not easy. I forgot the term you always use, King. A lot of times you're saying stuff, but it's not only in the beginning that you're considerate, but it's through the whole lifetime to retain the passion, the growth, the love, respect, and establish that closeness and bond. It's an ongoing process. And some of those components that come with it when you're healthy in the match and who you're with, because you want to hope to bring that relationship it shows it has some good intentions. You don't forget even yourself, because you're accountable too and you're responsible for it. It comes from, showing kindness and respect. It comes from loving unconditionally. And you have to understand, when I say love unconditionally, what is your definition of love? Is your love healthy? That you're giving out. It's not only receiving, but where are you giving out? Is it healthy what you're doing yourself? Are you the toxic person? It takes two. It always takes two. Are you participating in an open and vulnerable communication? If you're going to hold barriers and not really speak open, or you're afraid to speak what you want to say because of feelings, then you have some issues when it comes to communication. Because you should be in a relationship where you can speak freely. No, you don't want to just intentionally hurt feelings, but you're speaking freely to help inspire growth. Right. To have more. You're going to share the passion, affection, and you're going to have some intimacy that you're going to have. You're going to have some support. You're going to have some appreciation. You're going to compliment each other. You're going to admire things that you do. You avoid criticism and complaints, but you speak about them, though. You don't avoid, to me, in a sense of, when I say avoid the criticism, if you're being negative, if you find yourself in your emotions right now and your tongue is like a dagger because you're speaking in defensive mood, that's what I'm saying. So now you're the toxic person. Now you, in a sense, can even become abusive because how you're reacting, you're being defensive in what you're saying. Mm-hmm. So that becomes unhealthy when you're doing it. So avoid the criticism when you can find yourself and stop yourself and be aware of, I'm reacting because I'm hurt. So you're going to say hurtful stuff because you're hurt. That person may not intentionally hurt your feelings. Maybe something that you don't like about yourself, they said, and it could be shameful. You can have guilt for. You shouldn't respond that way. Right. Because they weren't intentionally hurting you. Some people do, yes. But I'm just speaking when we give the benefit of the doubt of having intentions or a positive when we're speaking with you. Right. And then you promise some personal space and some individuality. That's what else that comes with it. Sometimes you're going to argue. You're going to debate. That's healthy in a couple. In a relationship, that is healthy to do. If you're not arguing, and I'm healthy argue in a sense. If you're not having disagreements, that shows you're two individual people. You have two different mindsets. You have two different opinions. That makes you unique. That helps you both grow. You shouldn't always agree on different things. And one of the things that we always talk about too, apologize and forgive. If you're wrong, you're wrong. Right. You need to have accountability for when you're wrong. That is one thing. I apologize and forgive. Those can be some of those are some of the two of the hardest things. And you gave your take on one of the shirts you were saying before, King, to have to do. So it takes two people who want to work together. Right. It takes two to actually commit. It takes two to understand and want to understand the needs, to have purpose in the union to move forward.
Yeah.
So those are some intentions that you can actually do for yourself too, because you're not going to compromise your own standards. You're going to have your standards, but you're going to have to understand the other person. So if you're moving together, and it could be in a friendship too, you do things differently. Just because they do it one way, don't mean it's wrong. Their way is right. You can
Mm.
find them. You can find a middle
You
ground
can. You
for
can.
it. But it's just a
Yeah.
point of don't losing yourself. Don't lose what your standards are, your self worth, and what you're doing. And feel free to express. If you can't express yourself or be yourself, that's something different too. That comes with it. And being confident when you find yourself that you're losing some of the key traits that you have, or some things that you know you were confident in doing, or you start doubting yourself or anything like that, you need to take a look and say, what's draining me right now? Why am I not being fruitful for myself?
Mm.
Why am I letting myself not filling my cup halfway now? I'm looking at it half empty. What is going on? So that comes to that self-reflection they're saying. And correct, that's good. Saying I call it, the rain that everything needs to grow. That's so true. And that's
Mm.
yourself pouring in for that.
Yep.
So I would say when it comes to intentions, know what you want and stick to it, but don't be so unbearable in a sense that you want everything your way, because we're not here to do everything by ourselves. But we are here to make sure that we put ourselves first and making sure we have good self-love. And our intentions to be daily that we're going to continue to grow. That is what we need to be responsible for.
Yeah. And the next week we're gonna deal with self awareness, but that's good. Self love. Be intentional about self love too. Yeah, be intentional about that. I'm telling you, man, y'all will be surprised how if you really get this and you really become self aware, which we're gonna make. Listen, we say this over again, and did he put his email in the chat? We're definitely gonna we're giving this disc away so you can know who you are. We
I
want to
don't see
give.
it.
We want to do it before. We want to get it before we talk about self awareness, but we're gonna do it next. We throughout this whole journey, we're gonna be offering y'all the disc assessment for y'all to take. All you gotta do is put your email in the chat. But it's imperative for us, for real. It's so imperative for us that y'all get this because we really want y'all to be able to be strong in who you are. When you're strong in who you are, you don't fall for the okie doke. Can't nobody treat you any kind of way. And it ain't nothing wrong with you checking people on how they treat you. I really choose to believe you teach people how to treat you. I really believe that. I do believe that. You teach people how to treat you. Now, if you teach people that you are a doormat, expect them to walk all over you. Well, if you teach people that you ain't nothing to play with, that you better come correct, then they gonna do it. But just gotta know who you are. And that I promise you, once you know that, your life will look so different. And she said something about because I remember that this does do that too. It talks about stuff like jobs that you would be beneficial for. Listen, sometimes you may have to make an adjustment. It's okay. It's okay. Life, you only get one. That's
Yep.
it. So if you got to make an adjustment for your life, make the adjustment. Because ultimately what you want to be is enjoy your life. Because you only get one. You don't get it. No, you don't get a do over. This ain't Super Mario Brothers. You die and you get another life.
Pac-Man.
It ain't Pac-Man. Once the ghost eats you, you get no. Once it's over, it's over. That's it. Done deal. So enjoy the life. But enjoy your life knowing who you are. And that's what our intentions are. For this whole 60 days, our intentions is to make sure you know exactly who you are. It's no way possible that you're gonna leave these 60 days and not know who you are. Only way you do it is you actually didn't put in the work. You didn't intentionally put in the work that you need to. And you didn't give us your email so we can send you this disc. That's the only way. I promise you. Because you're gonna know. You're gonna know who you are messing with us. That's how man, the thing, our goal is to make sure you know who you are authentically and be that person. Don't be nobody else but you. And that's what we want to do. We want to make sure. See any last words before we go to the benediction?
I would say make sure you have your post-it. What is going to be your intention for today? What is your intention for the week? I would say start today doing that. Write it down. Be positive about it, and be committed to making your intentions that you want to set.
Well said. If all hearts and minds satisfied, the benediction. Let's go to the Father. Father, I thank you right now for every single person that watched this podcast tonight. Father, I pray Psalms 91 over their life. I pray that no evil shall befall them. No plague shall come to their dwelling, that 1,000 may fall at their side, 10,000 at their right, but only with their eyes would they witness destruction. I thank you for the angels encamped around about them. And I thank you most importantly that they abide under the shadow of your wing. Father, I thank you that no weapon formed against them will prosper. Every tongue that rises up against them shall fail. And Father, I plead the blood of Jesus over them right now. And Father, we thank you. We thank you for this time that you have set aside for us to empower the people and to educate the people, Father, and that they will be even better after hearing this podcast, and that their life will be in a true trajectory of their authentic self. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.